This is your place for all things Detroit Red Wings and all things Chicago Blackhawks. With your hosts, Jordan Linscott, David Barnhouse, Nick LePage, and Tim Stompanato. This is the Stick Blade Podcast. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. You're listening to another edition of the Stick Blade Podcast. It is your place for all things Detroit Red Wings, all things Chicago Blackhawks, and general news around the NHL. On tonight's show, it's Rivalry night tonight. We're actually mid-game right now between the Red Wings and the Blackhawks. So if we start looking away or we start talking about the game, that's why. Right now, it's currently tied up 2-2. So we've still got the rest of the third period, possibly overtime. On tonight's schedule, we're going to be talking about DeKeyser getting put on the waivers for the Detroit Red Wings. We're going to be talking about Connor Murphy and Andrew Shaw both being out for the Chicago Blackhawks. Really not a lot here in terms of actual news this week, so this should be a pretty quick episode for you guys. And then, as always, we're going to do the flashback and the flash forward. We just basically talk about, the week that was and the week that we're looking to have be for both of these teams. And with that being said, let's get just right into this episode. For your host, Jordan Linscott, and for my co-hosts, Tim Stompanato, David Barnhouse, and Nick LePage, welcome to the Stick Blade Podcast. How are you guys doing tonight?
Well, I'd be a lot better if the Wings didn't just tie up the game. But other than that, loving Rivalry night.
Yeah, I mean, for me, things haven't been the best lately, as you guys have seen probably, but watching some hockey, talking to my buddies, I'm doing all right.
It's the cure to everything. Just,
yeah.
bonding with the boys. Yeah, like I said, like Tim said, 30 seconds ago, if you would have asked me, I'd be doing a lot better. But boys, you guys notice anything different about me?
The hat?
No,
Did you
guys,
shave?
I shaved my beard.
You had a beard?
Well, he had the foundation of what a beard grows in.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, the Sidney Crosby special.
Oh yeah, like
exactly.
The Patrick Kane circa 2010.
Oh.
Not even that. I don't think I could grow that still. But
Oofta.
yeah, start off with some comedy. Why not?
There you go.
Gotta love it.
The juice is loose, and Nick shaved his beard.
Oh.
So like I said, it's Rivalry night tonight. So if anybody's actually watching, listening to this podcast and we get sort of sidetracked, that's why. So we're going to try to get through this one really quick for you guys. That way you guys don't have to worry about us getting distracted and us making an episode longer than it has to be. The Wings, we usually start on them, but I feel like the Hawks actually have some real news to talk about this week. So we'll start with the Blackhawks this week. The first pieces of news that we're going to be talking about, Connor Murphy and Andrew Shaw being off the roster for the moment. Connor Murphy is not as big of a piece of news as Andrew Shaw is, just strictly because of what Andrew Shaw might be off for and how long he could be off for. Andrew Shaw, it's concussion protocol. This is a big piece of news. He's been around your guys' club quite a bit. I mean, he was there for your guys' cup runs, went to Montreal for a stint, if I remember correctly, and then he came back with your guys' organization. What is your guys' thoughts on just not even this injury, but just what this means for your guys' season? Because, I mean, it means something.
I mean, I'll jump right in to go just because Andrew Shaw he's been my favorite Hawk since he hit the ground or hit the ice running back in 2012 or 2013 when he started. This is a serious blow to the Hawks in a couple of ways. Shaw is such a locker room guy in the sense of he keeps everything light. He's fun. He's goofy. Hawks are always cracking up and talking to reporters about how he left a signed autograph in Ian Mitchell's stall the other day and said, "Hey, hold on to that. That's going to be worth something." He was, making Dylan Strome crack up and break as he was zooming reporters. He's the clown, and you need that in a rebuilding team. And on the ice, that performance, he might not have been scoring a ton of goals, but he does so much dirty work. Going to the corners and getting pucks, making room for guys. He was playing smarter. He was playing more efficiently in his time back with the Hawks. And to see him with to see him get another concussion after he was able to fight back and come back after his last concussion that put him out for like a year. Man, that's a hard blow.
Yeah, just to bounce off Tim, that's how we're feeling about that injury, and it's worried. Shaw, he's been a big part of this, maybe not this exact team, but this organization for as long as he's been in the since he got drafted by the Hawks. And a guy with previous concussion issues. This is not his first. It's not his second. He's dealt with concussions many times before. So at this point, it's all about being healthy, and getting on the ice is not really a concern at this point. I know we said the same thing with Taze, but it goes for Andrew Shaw as well, because a guy that's dealt with this many concussions, it's kind of scary at this point. So it's tough to lose a locker room presence like him. A guy on the ice who's like the epitome of what this Blackhawks team is, the culture that we have. We're keeping Shaw in our thoughts, and hopefully we see him soon. And with this many concussions, though, it's sad to ask, like, could this be it?
Mm-hmm.
I think any player that has a history of concussions that has been as documented as Shaw, I think it stands out for Shaw in a way because of his play style and because he plays on the edge, and people have always said, he's coming back from X number concussion. Is he going to have to change his play style? Is he going to be as efficient? And you just, every concussion is different, which is what makes, Jordan, you made a good point about Murphy's got a hip thing, and he'll be out for 10 days or whatever it is. He'll be back. It's a hip thing. Concussions and any sort of head or brain concern, he could be back in a week. I mean, we saw Patrick Mahomes was in concussion protocol. He cleared it in a week for the Super Bowl.
Oh, that's a different story.
Yeah.
I mean, I think Roger Goodell was making sure.
I hate that. I hate that so much.
It's disgusting.
Mahomes could have been damn near comatose, and Roger Goodell would make sure he was out there. But
that makes me so sick to my stomach, though, to think about that. But really, though, we see, guys who are out of concussion protocol relatively soon, and we see guys where, Jeremy Colleton, his career was cut. And your career's done. All we care about is that Shaw, he's got, a wonderful family. If he's able to come back and he's able to bounce back, incredible. I'd love him on the team. I've got his jersey. If he steps back and says, you know what, there's life after hockey, I know this, and I'm hanging it up. Whatever he does, as long as it's best for Shaw, I'm happy for him.
Yeah, as an athlete, like your sport life isn't forever. You're gonna be done 5 years, 10 years, whenever. There's life after that sport, and you don't want that sport to ruin or hinder that life. Zetterberg stepped away because of his back injury. If he kept playing it, he would just progressively get worse. Nick Lidstrom could have kept playing, but and his quote that I loved was basically, he wanted to walk away from the game before the game walked away from him. Johan Franzen, unfortunately, like we were just talking about the concussions, we can see like the less severe ones where someone comes back in a week or two and they're okay. Franzen, his life is never going to be the same. He still struggles with things, as we've seen in interviews. And that's just, like we said, an injury you don't want to screw around with. I've had concussions playing soccer. It's not good. So I hope, for your guys' sake, you can get him back, because it sounds like he's a real good locker room presence, and you need that. Because even though they're $1 million athletes, it's a stressful job, and you need guys like the Chris Drapers running around putting whipped cream on people, or the Steve Yzermans jumping in the kiss cam and kissing Brendan Shanahan. You need the fun aspect of it, and losing a presence like that can do more damage than you think.
Yeah, it just goes to show. Sorry, real quick, Jordan. It just goes to show like what he brings to the team. Just with, I think he was wearing the A at home games. So Murphy had it on the road, and then Shaw had it at home. So yeah, it shows how big of an impact Andrew Shaw really is. Go ahead, Jordan.
No, just one thing I kind of wanted to bring up is, you know, I mentioned, it's Murphy and Shaw who are on injury this week. Yes, stuff like hip injuries or like broken legs and stuff is serious, but concussions are more serious in the fact that they can be a snowball effect. The more you have, the worse it gets. You may get one or two and it's not a big deal. You come back in a week like we've talked about before, but the more and more it happens, the worse it gets for you potentially. I mean, you're talking about your brain here. The more you abuse it, the more hits that it takes, the softer it gets, the more those hits hurt. And that's a scary one.
Yeah, I mean,
yeah.
the thing to keep an eye on there is really what kept Crawford and a guy like Sidney Crosby out was for so long was not exactly the concussion, but his post-concussion syndrome.
Yep.
So that's really what we're going to keep our eye on now. We know what he's diagnosed with, and yeah, again, just hope Shaw's okay. And then as for Connor Murphy, see him back in a couple of weeks. I think that's the plan. So yeah, it's tough blow because they were both wearing A's for us. So that's two locker room guys, really.
Two leaders.
Yeah, well, I was gonna say until then, it looks like DeBrincat's wearing the A. Which was a little jarring for me at first, not because he doesn't deserve it, but because I was like, oh, it should go to a veteran, I guess. Well, after them, he is. We're a really young team.
Maybe to Han, but like he hasn't been here for that long.
Yeah, no, it's gotta be DeBrincat.
It's so weird.
That's wild that he's a vet now. They grow up so fast.
Yeah, the whole 23-year-old. What is he? 22 or 23?
He's a child.
Looks like
I want to say he's 23 because he got drafted. What was it?
Yeah.
The year before McDavid.
He was a 2016.
He was a year with McDavid.
Oh, okay. So yeah, he's 23 or 24.
Because Strome is 24, DeBrincat's 23, if I recall correctly.
Yeah, because they went Strome year before, then McDavid, and then DeBrincat second round.
Yep. In my Strome stats.
Yeah.
But
Just to jump in real quick, sorry, Nick. It looks like Ottawa just won in overtime.
Oh, fuck my life. Sorry. Are you serious?
Really?
Yeah, 6-5 overtime.
Oh, there goes that bet.
Toronto.
Gadanov scored.
This is why Toronto's a meme.
Why'd I bet?
How did they blow that?
offensive pressure. Remember, guys, that's what Toronto's media sold us on for the Toronto Maple Leafs. We're going to outscore everybody.
What are they going to do when
for
Frederick
Ottawa.
Anderson leaves?
All right, boys, that was the Stick Plate Podcast. I'm signing off.
I got to go call my bookie.
He's going to break my knees. He's going to send Moritz Sider to break my knees.
No, that's what FanDuel's for, you know? Hey, sponsor us. Sponsor us, FanDuel, please.
You don't got to worry about a bookie anymore. FanDuel, we won't break your legs.
Sponsor us.
Maybe.
No.
Maybe.
In Wings news.
In Wings news, the only piece of news really for this week is just the fact that Danny DeKeyser got placed on waivers. Danny DeKeyser is an interesting one to me. When Detroit signed him, he was one of the big names coming out of the college athlete, world. Nick's here doing the little heart because he comes from Western Michigan. This is almost the textbook sort of picture of a player being extremely great when they're younger. They get a contract for a couple of years and then they start slowing down and regressing, and then the contract looks bad.
Yep.
He's on waivers right now, but Danny DeKeyser's making I think $5 million or 5.5 million. No, but nobody's touching this contract, not at all.
He's gonna clear. I think it's more because I think Blasher was talking about it. It's just a roster management, cap management type move.
Mm-hmm.
Well, because I saw earlier, he's still not that he's still hurt, but he's still not quite 100%.
Back surgery.
From what I was reading.
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
still
exactly.
Mm-hmm.
But he's still getting up to. I think Blashill said something like he's the equivalent of playing on one leg.
Yeah, basically.
Which, God bless him.
I think once he's back to 100%, he's not going to look amazing, but he's going to be back to top
serviceable.
Four, a serviceable top four pair.
He's eligible for IR though, no?
I don't think he is. If I was reading that,
Are you guys
trying to
using?
think.
Are you guys using all your spots?
Well, Zetterberg came off this year, right? Didn't he? Or does he come off next year?
Think next year.
Because I know we got rid of Thomas Thomas Weissy came off. Franzen came off.
Let me look.
I
don't
think
know
Zetterberg
if
still
you
has 1 year.
can. I don't know if you can put a guy on IR
Zetterberg
if
is
he's
still
not
on it.
hurt, but he's just not 100%.
Zetterberg is still on it.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
Tyler Bertuzzi's on it technically right now
Oh,
because
Yeah,
he'll be
so-
out for a few weeks.
Yeah, but the Bertuzzi thing, I mean, he's going to be coming back. That's not really a question of if; it's just a question of when.
yeah.
But no, Zetterberg is still on it.
But what was I gonna say? Yeah, I mean DeKeyser, that's a tough. I mean, I like you said, he's not gonna really go anywhere. This is just more of a roster situation kind of move. I mean, barring a dramatic pickup on waivers, which we don't see. Yeah, tough loss though for he's a veteran for that team now. He's a big locker room guy. I've heard. I'm not gonna really tell the stories on air because I don't know if they're true, and I don't want to throw his name out there just in case they're not true. But like, there's a bunch of tall tales at Western Michigan about Danny DeKeyser and how good of a human he is. So yeah, it's a Michigan boy, and hopefully we see him back in the winged wheel.
Yep.
Yeah, just nice vet. And, I'm always rooting for him.
Oh yeah.
The thing is, I mean, this doesn't really affect Detroit's roster makeup all that much. They're still going to be running Hronek, Nemeth. They're going to be running
Stahl,
Stetcher.
Merrill.
Yeah, Merrill's still going to be getting run.
Good old
This doesn't-
Pokemon.
This doesn't really change Detroit's roster all that much. My fingers are still crossed that the Swedish season ends quickly so we can get Moritz Seider in his place. That would be fantastic.
By God, it's Moritz Seider. He just picked up Patrick Kane and threw him through a table.
But yeah, that's really it on the Detroit front. I mean, I don't think we talked about it last week, but Tyler Bertuzzi's out for a little bit right now. But again, that's just a time thing. You're just waiting for him to recover.
Yeah.
It's nothing serious like a concussion or like a broken leg or anything like that. It's just he had an injury
Dinged up.
yeah, it's a dinged up. You're just waiting for the guy to heal. It's not a big deal. I really can't think of any other pieces of news this week unless you guys can.
I mean, we got the NHL news, but do you want to?
I mean, shoot, yeah, why not? Let's just get into it now.
Yeah.
So Alex Galchenyuk, he's on team number 3 in the last 2 days. So, yeah, congrats to him. He's getting the frequent flyer miles racked up for his Southwest Airlines
He's
account.
collecting jerseys this season,
Is he the new Jeremy Morin?
Oof, it's getting close. But boys, this is what I always talked about. If you get that first round template on you or whatever you like on your
first
resume,
round pedigree.
Yeah, there we go. Thank you, Tim. Like if you have former first rounder on your resume, your NHL career is going to last. It's going to last no matter what, especially as a top 3 pick.
Oh yeah.
I mean, he was a promising player, and I was going through Reddit and like seeing, is he a bust? Well, yeah, for being a top 3 pick, yeah, he's a bust. But looking at his numbers, his career hasn't been awful.
Especially his years in Montreal weren't bad by any means. I mean, he was fine in Montreal. He was invisible in Pittsburgh. I think that's what was really bad was the Pittsburgh move.
Well, the thing is, like, I don't think like he really fit the model that they were working with in Pittsburgh at the time. Like, Pittsburgh was sort of like, for a long time, they were really running like a really heavy speed model of just young guys who can skate and then great playmakers like Crosby, like Malkin, like Letang who can puck move and just set guys up. And that was sort of the system they ran. And he doesn't really fit that system.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like if he has a chance to adapt and like mesh with a team, that could help. I just feel like he's been consistently moved on from before he gets a chance to really groove. I don't know if maybe he's just a bust and maybe he's a locker room issue or whatever it is. But I can't imagine he's that bad. Like, I don't know. I'd like to see him get a chance to I'd like to see him get a chance to actually mesh with his next team.
Yeah, I mean, that's a good point because he went from Montreal to Arizona
Yep.
to Minnesota to Pittsburgh to Ottawa to Carolina.
Waived and put down to the
Yeah.
Chicago Wolves.
Didn't get to play a game there.
Damn shame.
And then traded to Toronto. It's top 3 pick. And I mean, it was a weak draft year that year. I'm not gonna pull it up right now, but I know when I was going through the Reddit, it's like they were talking about how weak that draft class was. But yeah, it sucks.
I want to ask your guys' opinion on something that I actually saw kind of brought up recently. Obviously, there are plenty of players that float around the league, but there are sometimes situations where players say, I don't want to play for X organization because either they didn't like the way that management was treating them in terms of like ice time or like stuff like that.
Pierre-Luc Dubois.
Yeah, but like not even like just that, but like just in general, like these guys who float from city to city to city to city over and over their whole career. Do you think at some point, the players union is going to let players put into their contracts that like, once I leave this organization, I can't be traded back to it either. Like you can put like maybe like 1 or 2 teams in their contracts, which say I can't go back there.
I think they already have that with the modified no trade or no movement clauses.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know how much in depth maybe the Players Association could work into the next CBA. Like there's modified no move clauses where they put down 5 teams that they absolutely do not want to be. Well, they already have that. It's tough. I don't know if they'll be able to build in. I definitely, unless there's like no, because I'm thinking of like, in a lot of cases, a guy leaves a team in free agency or in trade, and then he goes somewhere else and then ends up back there. So it's not like you can't do a no takesies backsies or something like that. Boy, that's a hard thing to regulate more than we already have with no trade and no movement in the modified clauses.
No, I know what Jordan's inferring here. It's kind of like, I mean, all right, maybe I don't, but I was kind of like, no, I mean, I get what he's saying, but yeah, it's like the no trade clause. But if we add any more into it where the player basically has complete control besides the no trade clause, it would essentially turn into like what the NBA is now, where like a player doesn't get traded unless they get that one specific team.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
I'm not advocating for that. I'm just
No.
saying.
No,
Like,
I'm not. No, I see what you're saying.
It would be too jumbled of a mess, I think, with all the other clauses, like a no trade clause, no move clause. I think that would just be another thing that they don't need to have. It'd be a jumbled mess.
So we're like how Tim brought up that story in our group chat earlier, right, Jordan? About, are we allowed to bring that up, Tim?
Probably. I don't want to put it out there just because, like, I don't know how much is.
Are you guys trading me to a Toronto podcast? Is that what's going on?
No.
All right. Hey, I'm sorry. We're actually waiving you to an AHL podcast, and then you're going to be moving to Toronto podcast.
All right. Let's do one that's actually already out in the public. Erik Karlsson, right? The situation that happened with him and Dion Phaneuf. That's
Mike Hoffman.
Or Mike Hoffman. I mean, sorry.
Yeah.
I know I said Dion Phaneuf. That's dumb.
There you go.
So like that situation, right? Like, let's say he could put some sort of clause in his contract that says, I don't want to go to a team that this guy's playing for. And he's got like, it's not my feelings got hurt, blah, blah. It's legit reasons to not want to play together.
That's an interesting, you know what? I bet if there's a way, I still think it would be difficult, but if there's a way you can say like, I don't want to play for Mike Babcock because he did some terrible things to me or whatever, or this player literally harassed me and my wife. You might be able to put that in there. And so it's not directed at a team. It's more directed at almost a like restraining order, basically. Because I was thinking about, if I say I'd never want to go back to Toronto because Mike Babcock is there, for example, and then Babcock leaves, do you then have to get it removed that you'd be okay going back to Toronto? I think if you focus it on the person, that could be a little better. It would be hard to manage in contract negotiations.
Yeah, there's just so much that goes into that. Like there's like a lot of paperwork. I mean, yeah, I mean, because you could update your no trade clause. So say if like your GM reaches out to you, like, and they say, hey, we're looking to trade you. Do you want to update your list of your no trade clause? You're able to do so.
Mhm.
But yeah, I mean, that's just so much. Like, I think the NHL kind of has it right as is right now.
Okay.
But yeah, I mean, it's a good thought. It's a good thought to have because
Yeah.
like, there's situations like we've seen in the NHL now with, you know, the racism accusations out there with certain coaches, players, and yeah, you could see why a player wouldn't want to be part of a certain organization or a certain coach.
I mean, again, you guys know I have a HR background. One of the big things that comes to mind for me is hostile work environment. And like, if you deliberately leave somewhere or you request a trade to get out of somewhere because of a hostile work environment, there should be some sort of protection that you can't get forced back into that hostile work environment.
Mm-hmm.
There has to be some sort of clause there. I think we're going to be seeing something interesting about just like employee relations, basically, but work environment and whatnot moving forward with the way that the league is shifting the last couple of years with their hockey is for everyone and being a little better with their work environment mindset.
And like that, I guess that's probably a better way to put it is sort of what you explained, Tim. It's this idea that it's a hostile work environment. I don't know. It seems like there are a lot of stories recently coming out about like just these terrible situations behind the scenes of like stuff going on that people are like, yeah, their athletes are making great money. They can put up with this stuff, but
No.
that doesn't matter.
That
I
that
don't
goes
care how
against
much you're
every bone
getting
in my
paid.
body.
You don't have like you should not be expected to be put through just some of the ringers that some of these players have been put through.
Yeah.
Quick update: Hawks and Wings are in overtime. So
Yeah,
if
Oh God.
there's a random scream throughout the podcast, you'll know what happened. But one more news is Ron Hextall back in the mix.
Yeah.
GM of the Pittsburgh Penguins with good old Brian Burke. Former
You love
GM
to
of the
see
Toronto
Burke back in the
Yeah,
game.
It's good to see Berkey back. Yeah, I listened to him on fellow podcast Spit Chicklets. He's just a funny dude, and
I love his stories.
yeah, it's two veterans. I mean, we all know who Ron Hextall is. Berkey, maybe not so much. Not many people know, but yeah, that's going to lead. I think we're going to see big changes in Pittsburgh. Maybe not like dramatic, but like it's going to be a culture change there.
I think you have to, right? I mean, a team that still has Crosby, Malkin, and Letang, that has declined in such a way where it's not even necessarily talent on ice. It's just that there's nothing going on. Nothing's connecting. There's got to be an overhaul.
Mm-hmm.
Pittsburgh is such an interesting one because after their cup runs, you look at the players that they lost and they weren't a bunch of like superstar names. Like they kept a lot of their big names together. I mean, you've got Crosby and Malkin are still there. Letang's still there.
Mm-hmm.
Gwensel's still there. Phil Kessel left, yes. Trevor Daley left, but that's really not noticeable. Kunitz left. Like
Superstar.
Hornquist left, but again, he's making like $5 million. You can go out and find it like a middle six winger for $5 million. I don't know. Maybe it is. It's just a culture thing that's got to change in Pittsburgh.
It feels like a culture thing. Because again, I think the Hawks went through that where there became a complacency, and then you sort of lost you still want to win and you still want to fight. You want to chase that cup, but you do lose some of the fire that I think guys that, we have a bunch of new guys now on the Hawks that like are ready and they're amped up and they have energy. Oh God. I've completely lost my train of thought. But yeah, I think it's got to be a culture thing, and I'm curious to see what Hextall and Burke bring to the table in Pittsburgh.
I'm like 5 seconds behind you guys.
There's only a minute and a half left in overtime. All right, it's going to be over soon, or it's going to shoot out.
I have a minute left in overtime.
I have
I'm
a minute
dying.
as well.
I have a minute and 10, assholes.
What? Sider, just hit him with a chair.
No, but yeah, I mean, we all know Ron Hextall, his ego, his maybe not his ego, but just like his
confidence.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
he's very out there, and maybe
Could
this
be
is
what
a
you need.
spark. This is a spark because who was it? Was it Benning? No, Benning's in Vancouver. Who?
Yeah.
Why am I drawing a blank? Who was their GM? Rutherford. Jim
Rutherford.
Yeah.
Just said I'm done.
Yeah. And so I mean, Hextall, he's a spark plug, man. I mean, he with the Flyers, he was pretty close with the team even while he was GM. So, maybe if you see something he doesn't like, what happened? If he stop scaring me.
Oh my God.
If he sees something he doesn't like, then yeah, we'll see what happens. All right.
I'm waiting.
Oh my
Yeah.
God, this is the worst.
Dominic Kubalik, Hawks win.
There we go. Oh, a storybook ending. You love to see it, folks. We here at the Stick Played Podcast
And
are
that's the Stick
absolutely
Played
thrilled. I'm sure we're
Podcast. We
all
are,
excited.
All
Exciting.
4 of us.
Uh,
Now we could officially wrap that game up once we get to that segment. So,
Oh.
oh my God,
I
I feel like I
think
just
we
ran a
did it.
marathon.
So let's jump into that.
Yeah, let's do the flashback and flash forward.
all right, so since we started with the Hawks news, we'll go ahead and start the Hawks flashback this week. So your guys' schedule was as follows. You guys had a 2-1 win versus the Stars, a 6-5 loss versus Columbus, and then a 3-2 win versus Columbus. And then we're going to talk about the game tonight and like the game. The Stars one. I thought I started to eat crow last week, and I'm still kind of eating crow.
Dude, I don't think he'd like that. Don't do that.
Yeah. Stupid.
All right.
Yeah, we're doing great, folks. We're buzzing.
Off the rails, boy.
The winged wheels are off the rails.
No, yeah, that game against Dallas was. Look, even I was like, okay, we can get a couple of points. I did not expect us to take all 4 points against Dallas. Nick and I were talking earlier about this. We're hanging in and competing and thriving in games that we have no business being a part of. That to me that's the culture, that's the work ethic, and we are playing as such a tight. It reminds me of Carolina, the fact that they play as such a unit, and the Hawks are no longer playing as individuals that are carrying the team or anything. They are playing as a tight-knit unit, and we haven't been out of any game. Even in the Columbus game that we lost 6-5, it's gut-wrenching to me because we blew a heck of a lead, but we lost by a goal. Nick, what are your thoughts on these past 3 games?
Well, I'd like to start Sunday with a specific song, and it just defies. Wait, Jordan, am I allowed to do this?
Yeah.
Oh, we are.
We need copyright striked.
No.
Just play if you play like 10 seconds.
All right. Well, here's how Sunday went. Can you hear it or no?
I hear, is it country?
It's Dick Down in Dallas by Trey Lewis.
Yes, a classic.
Yeah, no, what a game. I mean, honestly, it was, again, one of those games where the Hawks just overcome adversity. It's like a game that we really shouldn't win, and you just find a way. We do. I mean, another overtime, which has been, boys. Wait, are we on Sunday?
Yeah. What?
Wait, no, we covered
Monday.
Sunday. Monday, yeah.
Tuesday?
Jesus
Yeah, they
Christ.
played versus Dallas because you guys split the series, remember?
Yeah.
Sorry. I was talking about Sunday's game. Backtrack, skirt. But all right. So some notes I have for that. I mean, it's basically gonna cover off from all week.
Great.
Dan on the power play is a different breed.
Yeah.
He really is. He just looks so confident. He's what we want Boquist to be.
He's got that poise and that he's making plays, and he's making smart plays. He's not making stupid risks, but he's trusting himself to maybe take that extra little bit of intelligent risk.
No, yeah, 100%. I mean, he just
Mhm.
looks so confident. And, we've seen this. This is going to kind of just flash forward. This is going to go all spontaneous. It's just my thoughts coming out at once. But we've seen Beaudin get moved out to the power play 1 unit now, just based off what he is. And, the training wheels are starting to come off for these kids. Like, we're seeing the more and more confidence into these guys. And I'm thrilled. I mean, Nick Beaudin, and he scored 2 goals this week. He had 3 points in 3 games.
Yep.
Unreal week. As for the Columbus game on Thursday night, tough.
Yeah.
I think that was the first one where it's like, oh, this is not a great one from Lincoln. And like, even when he had a rough game, like the games that like against Carolina, where he started off slow, but he kept us in the game, and we found a way to take a point or win the game. That's exciting. But like that one, it was kind of like, all right, he's a rookie. He's a rookie.
And
like,
I'm every game or every goalie churns out clunkers.
yeah, I mean, I wasn't upset about it.
No, but yeah, it was the first game I was like, okay, it's coming back down to earth a little bit.
Yeah, the way we lost was not on him, but like just the outcome of the game was kind of more heartbreaking because like it was 5-4. We were up 5-4, and then a minute. There was like 2.5 minutes left. Columbus ties it, and then with like a minute 17 to go, Columbus takes the lead. It's like, fuck, man, it sucks.
Mhm.
It sucks. And then
High scoring, high energy hockey, baby.
Which,
Yeah.
listen, as a fan, as an impartial fan, I love watching high scoring barn burners.
Mhm.
When it's the Hawks and they end up going from a 3-1 lead to tying it to having them tie it, so it's 3-3, and then the Hawks pulling out again and then having them tie it and then having them beat us. It stung. It was
At
the
least-
first loss that actually stung
yeah, that one
of the year for me.
At least you didn't blow like a 5-1 lead like Toronto did tonight to Ottawa.
Right? Are we gonna keep rubbing that in my face? That's the only leg of my parlay that didn't hit. But yeah, I'll save that for the end of the show. But big notes from that game: Nick Beaudin and Ian Mitchell, first career goals back to back within a minute of each other. Yeah, a minute.
Yeah.
Within 1 minute of each other. It's the kids are doing all right. The kids are doing all right, and it's.
Yeah, I remember seeing your Hawks are back tweet after that happened. So
Yeah, that didn't age poorly that game. Oh yeah, but as for the rest of Thursday night, Kaner just doing Kaner things. He had 2 silky passes that led to assists. It was just unreal. Like I said, first rough Lincoln game, and then when we were on the power play, there was who scored? It was Cam Atkinson, shorthanded, that scored against us.
Yeah, I think it was Atkinson.
Yeah, so I mean, it was kind of just a rough night for our special teams that night. We had a shorty giving up our power play, then gave up 2 goals. Or no, our PK, sorry, gave up 2 goals. So yeah, just not a great night on the special teams unit. But for the rest of the week, I mean, you beat Columbus in overtime with 3-2 Saturday night with a nice pass to DeBrincat on Kane. Just
Oh my gosh.
hand-eye coordination, a game they had to come back and fight for in the final minutes of the third period. And then tonight, boys, the Hawks they're the culture. I mean, that's all I could say is the culture.
I'm proud of you guys. Like I didn't expect them to be playing as well as they have, and it's fun to watch.
I mean, before we even move on to the Wings, I just want to say, like, specifically about this game, it's like you guys gave us a fight for your culture. Culture is. I mean, are we gonna just? Is that gonna be like our word of the day, like Pee Wee Herman's Playhouse? No, but yeah, I mean, you guys fought hard. You guys outplayed us for the first.
Oh, definitely.
Maybe the whole game. I would say.
At least the first period for sure.
I would say the first half of the second period too. The Wings really controlled.
Yeah. So a good week. Hawks just overcoming adversity, beating. They should have won Thursday.
I loved seeing Colleton put Lincoln back in net for the second Columbus game. I think that was a very smart move. You don't want him to sit, you don't want him to think that the trust and confidence from management is shaken. You get him back out there, and there's a trust in Colleton, or trust from Colleton to Lincoln that says, hey,
you're our guy.
Get back out there. I trust you. Get the win this time. And it worked.
That's a
Yeah.
hell of a bounce back. You know,
It was a
holding-
bounce back, and it was definitely a revenge game. I think it was one of those games where the whole team wasn't playing great. The first Columbus game, I think Lincoln wasn't great, but I think everybody wasn't. Missing passes, collapsing in the defensive zone. I think everybody rallied really, really hard for that second Columbus game, and I think it showed. Our effort, yes, we got the points, which is wonderful, but our effort throughout that game it felt good watching that we're gonna come back.
Yeah.
That was arguably our worst defensive performance since, I would say, Florida game 3 of the season. Maybe if you want to go game 4, but I still think there were some fluky plays in the 4th game of the season where we lost in overtime. But arguably that was probably our worst that we've looked all around. I mean, we still kept it a game. It was still a game, but like in general, if you want to drop a consensus, that's the worst the Hawks have looked in a long time, or at least a month. Then, I just want to hold, if we could all just gather our hands real quick, guys, and we could hold a moment of silence for Patrick Laine for wearing a bunch of fists from Brandon Hagel.
Is no one gonna hold hands with me?
Oh,
I
is
got
that?
you,
Oh,
Yeah, we're all holding hands. See,
All right. Just a quick moment of silence.
freaking just. Lonnie did get the first few hits in, and I was like,
Oh, definitely.
Hagel was just dropping them haymakers.
Laine's like got a decent couple of inches on Hagel.
It was
Hagel's
like
not a big guy.
it was almost like watching that Giovanni Smith fight from last week, where he was letting the guy throw some punches too, and then Giovanni Smith was like, "Okay, now it's my turn."
What I liked about Hagel is he had that first one that really connected, and then he got a couple of the jersey jabs
Yep.
in. I think that the first punch caught Laine off guard and sort of stopped the barrage. Those jersey jabs did a really good job of keeping him from mounting another assault. And that final one where he just connects and Laine goes down, he decides to block a punch with his face. God bless him.
Not a good strategy.
You'll love to see the smaller guy take out a guy who's 6'5", like Laine.
Yeah, I mean, and we'll take. Don't get me wrong, we love Brandon Hagel on this podcast.
Hagel's bagels, baby.
We are going to make sure we get that business running, but we will take that trade 10 times out of 10. We'll sit Brandon Hagel out for 5 minutes. You can sit Patrick Laine out for 5 minutes. Yeah, sure.
Yeah, a guy who could be like a 50-goal scorer. Yeah, let's get him out for 5 minutes.
No, I mean, just again, it just goes show like we'll get in. Or no, I mean, that was our weekly recap. Like, just the guy does it all. He's physical. He fights. He gets behind defenders. He's quick. He's skilled. Like, it's inevitable that first goal is going to come. Well, yeah,
that's going to be such a sweet day.
How about you guys over on the Red Wings side?
One thing I kind of want to touch on before we move on to the Red Wings really quick. One thing that I liked out of you guys this week is that you came back down to earth and then you didn't stay down. The Stars game is like, it's the top of the roller coaster, right? You're there, you're riding high, and you're excited because you're at the top. You come down for Columbus, but you don't stay down. And again, like you guys mentioned, I liked that Colleton trusted Lincoln enough to put him back out. That's a confidence thing for a young goaltender, basically saying, this loss isn't purely on you. You're going to get another chance right now. This isn't really the end of the world. I'd like to see that a lot.
Jordan, would you say they have a strong culture?
I think they might have a strong culture.
Culture is the word of the day.
Moving on to the week's schedule this week, the schedule went as follows. They had a 2-1 loss to the Panthers, 2-1 loss to the Panthers, a 3-2 loss to the Preds, and then a 4-2 win over the Preds this week. And then we're going to touch on the Hawks game in a second. This week was frustrating because in the Panthers game, they could have been in it. The Preds game, they could have been in it. They didn't lose these games because they played poorly, and I think that's so frustrating for them. They kept these 1-goal games, and the team seems to finally be finding chemistry, like real chemistry. We saw it tonight where they were playing great possession the first period and the majority of the second period and just no results. I mean, yes, the team is still horrendous on the power play. I talked about that on the Facebook Live.
Yeah.
I don't know what it is in Detroit that they just can't get this figured out. It's frustrating because they had plenty of chances in that loss versus the Predators. They had ample chances to close that game out or even tie it with a power play. I don't know what's going on with it at this point. They're like 0 for 28 now. That's insane.
No, I mean, just to chime in, our power play for the Hawks side, the last couple of years, you see all these big names that we have, even going back to the final year of Marian Hossa. Power play was still awful. It's always frustrating when it just doesn't make sense. You got guys like Zadina, Fabry, Mantha, Larkin, like all these skilled players, and like you have a man advantage. It's got to be the most infuriating thing, and maybe in all sports besides like bullshit holding penalty in the NFL. I don't know, but like it sucks, because like over 28, that's just a horrible number. It's abysmal.
It's
David,
just,
go ahead.
It's awful to watch. You have an advantage. You have more people, and the way we play it doesn't even seem that way. Teams are happy to take a penalty against us because our power play is non-existent. And it should be something that should be able to easily be fixed. Like, this is something you should be working on. If your team is struggling with something, that's what you need to be practicing. Like, I follow the Premier League, and for a while, Everton, my team, sucked at set pieces, meaning when the other team's taking a corner kick or they have a free kick, they might score. Like, that's how struggled we with. Our coach is focused on that, and we can be very dangerous now where we will get a good counter attack going. Same thing with penalty, the power plays. Draw it up on your freaking whiteboard. Here's what we're going to do. Here's how it's going to work. Like, you have to have your players carry that. You have to have the quarterback on the power play, someone to help, set things up. Do we have that? Could Hronek do that? I think he can. I mean, Nick Lidstrom was our perfect human. That guy could quarterback anything. So we'll see what happens. But this is something that Bausma, because that's his area, he's the one that runs the special teams for the Red Wings. He needs to really get this going. Otherwise, we might see him out the door.
And like, that's the thing that's kind of frustrating. What is the average power play in the NHL percentage? It's like 15% or something like that, right? That's usually like the average.
Yeah, like 8. I want to say it's like 18.2. Some like in the mid-teens. Sorry, yeah.
But so, like, say it's in the mid-teens, right? Out of 30 we'll say 30 power plays just for even numbers' sake. Out of 30 power plays, you're expecting around 3 to 4 goals, maybe 5. If Detroit scores on even one of those in the Preds loss, that's a tie game. You're going to overtime. You steal a point there. And yes, this is, again, we're not looking to have the Wings make the playoffs this year. We're all realistic here.
No.
But that's a morale thing at that point. I don't know if it's just something that maybe we do need a coaching change on the power play, because whatever's working right now is not working at all. And it's not positions, it's not players, it's got to be a schematics thing. They've tried all sorts of different players at all sorts of different spots, and nothing's clicking. They've tried Hronek from the blue line, they've tried him from the slot, they've tried him from up top, they've tried Mantha in the slot, they've tried Mantha in the middle playing the screener. Like, nothing's working. And I mean, I even watched it tonight against the Hawks, and good on the Hawks penalty kill, because they were actually pretty good tonight. They had the Wings had the power play. They spent 30 seconds of it in their own zone getting trapped. That's insane.
Yeah, I mean, I know you were kind of joking about it earlier, Jordan, but like every time the Hawks took a penalty, you're like, well, you guys just got a free. You guys just killed 2 free minutes. So, it's infuriating. But I mean, you guys, I don't want to steal your thunder, but the next Nashville game went out pretty well.
And like, that's the thing. The next Preds game, they won 4-2. Again, I thought the team continued to play good. I'm trying to remember what when Larkin gave that post game speech about, they'd been playing the way they should have been playing all season. This team looks to finally be playing that way, which I like. Passing was crisper. Neutral zone play was crisper. They shut down Nashville to what was it, like 9 shots through 2 periods.
That's
Yeah.
beautiful.
That's crazy.
And you get that beautiful, beautiful patented trademark copyrighted Luke Glendening backhand goal. Like beautiful. I think the Red Wings Twitter even tweeted the video with the little copyright symbol.
That's so good.
You know what they say? Sidney Crosby, Patrick Kane, Pavel Datsyuk, Luke Glendening.
And what is it? Tim brought up the stats today. Luke Glendening, or Tim or Nick did. Luke Glendening.
Jordan did, I think.
Or Jordan did. Someone did.
One of us did.
Jordan did. Jordan did.
He's the number 1 faceoff.
That was Jordan.
It's so good.
And like, that's not even on the team. That's in the league. He's 60% on the faceoff dot.
God, he's so good.
That's such a good
the new
anchor for
Draper.
you guys.
He's the new Draper.
But that's kind of it for the week that was. We can talk about the week that's coming up. Aside from the Hawks Wings game, let's touch on that because it is rivalry week after all.
Just happened.
Yeah, of course.
So we know the outcome now because the game's officially done. So the Hawks take it 3-2 over the Detroit Red Wings in overtime. We can go around the square here and just sort of talk about our thoughts of the game. I'll let you guys all go first and then I'll wrap. So
I'll start.
Yeah,
go ahead.
My score for some reason is at the top of my screen. Both teams look great. They both took turns like controlling the flow of the game. Like most of the third period, I think the Wings were really outworking the Blackhawks, where we were putting more of the pressure on you guys and taking pucks away. Dylan Larkin almost scored like from the side behind the net.
That's scary.
But both teams look good. You guys had some really good plays to set up your 2 goals with Kubalik with the first one, and who had the second?
Yeah, Mark.
Mark had the first one.
Kubalik had the second. Sorry, my bad.
No,
but the Wings, we roared back. We had I just love Deju's goal because that one was just
nice.
beautiful, where he just
It was a really good goal.
He turned the Hawks player inside out with it, with that fake step to one side. But my perspective, both teams look great. I mean, mad props to Chicago this season so far. No one expected, even you guys in the beginning were like, we don't expect them to. But now, we see Nick tweeting every so often, Hawks are back, playoffs, or pain, Hawks are back, pain. So it's been fun to watch. Like, I'm excited for you guys.
It's a roller coaster.
It is.
Yeah, just quick thoughts on tonight. I mentioned his name a couple times. Brandon Hagel again. Jeez, man. Like, we did that first intermission. We did that little live stream, we went live on Instagram. I talked about it with David. I talked about it with Tim. We are going to figure that out for you guys so we can get more content out there. But Hagel, he had a chance for a goal. He got tripped up by, I forgot what defenseman that was, but he's just always finds a way behind a defender. And, it's instinct. A guy like that, I mean, it's instinct and speed. I want to include that because
the speed is a massive point. I knew he could skate. He was flying. He's been flying.
It definitely has caught us all off guard. Like nobody, like I know we kind of talked about, we really hinted at him with like Kajula leaving, like Hagel's the guy to step in.
Yeah.
We did not expect this. So it's just he had a great scoring opportunity where he got tripped up at the blue line and he recovered and got a shot off, but Grice made a nice save. And then what a chip pass over to Kubalik for a tip-in goal. He's like, without being like an elite player, he's still something special. Like you don't get many guys like him, his work ethic, his quickness, and his skill. It's just I said it with Tim earlier. He's like an anomaly type of player. I said it about Tyler Bertuzzi. Maybe he's like a poor man's Bertuzzi for us, but I'll take that because this is what this team needs. They need life. They need energy. And really, Brandon Hagel is kind of leading the charge.
Well, yeah, he reminds me a lot of Saad.
Yeah.
Believe it or not. I feel like he's a really good replacement for Saad in the sense of strong two-way game with playmaking ability. And just, my God, his skating, he flies, but he's also got the hands to do something with it sooner. Like, it's not like Sakura where he was shooting the puck and like he just didn't have a goal because it just wasn't translating for him. It's a matter of time for Hagel. He's putting himself in the right positions. He's doing so much without the puck, with the puck, getting the puck to other people. He controls when he's on a line with people, he's raising the effort level of the people on his line, which is remarkable. He earned a slot on the second line today. And he absolutely earned it. That play to get to Kubelik's goal, the way he just skated around and flew up past defensemen and was able to, pass it over and put it right on Kubelik's stick to tap it in. He usually, with like hustle and grit guys, they have to do that to make up for a lack of speed or skill. That's how they got to the NHL. You've got a lot of skill guys that maybe don't hustle as much because like they know when they've got the puck, they can do whatever they want.
Mm-hmm.
You're right. Hagel has this blend of grit and hustle. He's not afraid, obviously, to throw down, drop the gloves. He's a Swiss Army knife for Huss. And
Yeah.
I'm really, really excited to see his career. Final notes on the actual game tonight and not just praising Hagel.
Yeah, I was gonna get in there. We're in love, guys.
Credit where credit's due, which was one of our other catchphrases. You guys did a phenomenal job tonight. For the first period and a half, I definitely felt like Detroit controlled the game, and our goals were products of capitalizing on an opportunity when it presented itself.
Mm-hmm.
Your defense was shutting us down a little bit. Like, your forwards were driving play. I thought it was I liked that line with Zadina up on the top. I liked the sort of blending of that top six. I thought that was nice to have the different looks and complement players in other ways. I thought that Subban did a really good job. I know with that first goal, it looked like he lost the puck. I don't know. There might've been something that we don't see from the screens, the cameras or whatever. But other than that, he saved a lot of key goals. This could have been, honestly, both goalies, this could have been a higher scoring game. Grice did a great job. But yeah, I've been very pleasantly surprised with Subban's play, given where we sort of thought he was at.
Mm-hmm.
And seeing where he's at now as a consistent backup, I'm thrilled with that.
Yeah, I want to go ahead, David, first.
I just want to say with Hagel and with Smith, can we get them to throw hands next game?
No.
He already got in a fight this week.
Smith is a different person than Line. Smith is a good fighter.
Yeah, Line's a pretty boy that likes to play Fortnite. Let's let him build it up.
You guys have seen the movie in the sequel, Goon, I hope.
Oh,
Yeah,
absolutely.
Yeah.
You want to go? Yeah, let's go.
No.
He's much more than that. But yeah, just a quick, really to finish off this game for the Blackhawks side, I do want to give props to Thomas Grice. I think because he's played in 2 of the 3 games, right, Jordan?
Mm-hmm.
He's played in 2 of the. I thought he's looked good in both games. He's, and then the Red Wings in general tonight. Really not many high danger chances allowed. So it was kind of like the moral of the story with this Hawks team, and I guess with the Wings, the way the Wings play tonight, it's going to be low scoring, just kind of like grit out games. Like, you're going to have to go get dirty.
I love it.
You have to find a way to bury one ugly.
Vintage, baby. Vintage. Love it.
Yeah. So it was a good game. I think you guys controlled the first period and a half, and then we'll even go with the final. At the Hawks, I don't think the Hawks played they didn't really win a period because you guys.
I would agree with you.
Because you guys, it was all first period, you guys, despite the score. Like, we got outplayed. It was just, we took advantage of some opportunities that were given to us. And then the first half of the second period was you guys. And the second half of the third period was all you guys. It's like we didn't play a full period where we controlled the game. And again, the moral of this season for this whole podcast is minor victories, and you guys held your own against a team
Little baby victory.
with wait for it, the culture as ours.
No, I also got to say one more thing before Jordan jumps in. 3-on-3 overtime is so much fun to watch.
Oh, it's a blast.
I mean, I love shootouts. They're fun to watch, but can we just make it just be pure 3-on-3? Just keep doing it.
You mean games?
Fun. Yeah, like how they do in the playoffs where overtime just continues.
Oh, no, you can't do that.
I know, but it'd be so much fun.
I don't know. Shootouts stress me out.
They also stress out Robin Leonard.
Yeah, yeah, exactly.
But Jordan, what was yours? You wanted to wrap us up for this game, so wrap us up for this one.
All right. So I liked a lot of what I saw from the Wings. I liked the zone play a lot from them. Puck movement was good. The fact that they kept possession even after the goaltender made a save was fantastic. I liked just the shots in general. Robbie Fabry had a fantastic chance that he could have gotten a goal on if the puck had not bounced to him weird. I think that, Nemestikov really worked for that goal. Both teams, the goals that happened this game, they weren't amazing setup goals. I mean, the one goal from Janmark was basically like it's a defensive lapse goal. It wasn't like a laser shot one. It was the one where like Zadina followed around the net and he missed the guy who was open.
Yeah.
I mean, that was a good feed by Soderberg, though.
Mm-hmm. But like the Kubalik one, that's a greasy one. The goaltender does not expect that. And the same way with like Nemestikov's goal, that's like a redirect goal. The goaltender makes the initial save on there, and then Nemestikov picks up the cleanup. Neither goaltender was bad tonight. That's the thing.
That one worried me too.
Great.
I thought, momentum was going to go your way after Nemestikov to bury that with 14 seconds left in the first.
Well, Larkin almost scored a go-ahead goal in the third.
Yeah.
That was close.
What else do you got, George? Sorry, I interrupted.
It's all right. I've already ranted about the Wings power play, so I'm not going to touch on that again. The other thing I like, though, is the fact that, I mean, especially for you guys, Chicago waited to take advantage of the chances they had. It was not just a laser show. It was very much a try to find an opening because we're not really getting them right now. I mean, you look at the goals, right? The Janmark one, they waited for a defensive lap. The lapse happened, and then the goal happened. The Kubalik one, that's a greasy one. You don't see it coming. The overtime one, even, like, it's overtime. Players get open space. They get time to really aim shots, and they happen. It's all about waiting for those right moments. And the same with the Wings. I mean, the Nemestikov one, you waited for the rebound for the goaltender to be down. They got the goal. I like the fact that both teams are playing very, very structured hockey tonight.
Yes.
No, yeah, it was like, maybe it wasn't like the most entertaining game of games, but it was a well played game between like both teams that we really didn't think we were gonna see that. And it was a fun game. I had a great time watching it. It was fun. We enjoy the back talk. We went live. Like I said, we went live with David. We tried to go live with you. We're figuring that out. But yeah, great game all around. And I would have said the same thing even if we lost, because like it was just a well fought game between us and these two teams.
Mm-hmm.
Yep, for sure.
We can go ahead and get into the flash forward now, because that sort of wraps the week that was for both clubs. So the next game on the docket for the Hawks is going to be the rematch against the Wings on the 17th. And then you guys are going to play the Hurricanes twice on the 19th and the 20th. It's going to be like half rivalry week again, because second half of that series. What are you guys' expectations for this week moving forward?
I think another tough one for the Wings. I think it's going to be another low scoring, maybe a battle. I mean, it's not going to be a blowout. We're not going to see blowouts. No. I think maybe like a 3-1 victory. I think the Wings are going to keep us in, depending on who's in goal. If Thomas Greiss he seems to like he's playing pretty well against us. So, it's going to be tough. And then Carolina, again, it's hard to doubt not going to say the C word, the culture, but I said it. I think we could take one. I think.
Yeah, that's where I'm at. I think that it's a close game, but I do think we take the Wings game, and I think that we get 2 points against Carolina, whether that's 2 overtime losses or that's 1 full win. I think the Canes are going to make it real hard. They're one of the fastest teams in the league,
Yeah.
and we saw that when we went against them. But we also have seen that we can win against them. I don't see us taking both, but I do see a total of 4 points between the Wings game and then 2 points for the Carolina series.
Yeah.
Okay.
How about you guys over in Detroit?
So Detroit's upcoming schedule is going to be, again, our rematch versus the Hawks on the 17th. And then we're playing the Panthers twice. So the Hawks one, I think it's a close one. I think it's going to be like a repeat of last night. It's going to be a very close.
Tonight.
Well, last night when you guys listened to this.
Yeah.
It'll be last night when the people actually watch and listen to the show, probably, because it's 10:37 right now.
Yep.
So I think it's going to be basically like a repeat. If the Wings win, it's going to be a close one. It's going to be a 1-goal game either way. Maybe a 2-goal game with an empty netter if we're going to go that route for either club. I don't think it's going to be a blowout because, again, Detroit's finally got their roster back healthy again, and they're playing more complete games.
Mm-hmm.
The Panthers ones, I think we're taking one in regulation, and then the other one, I think we're losing in overtime, or we're going to win in overtime. But I think I'd probably honestly just say we're losing in overtime. I think we're taking one of those games.
I agree.
Okay.
I agree. I think Florida's goaltending's not great.
Mm-hmm.
Bobrovsky has not regained the form that everyone was hoping he was going to do this year.
No.
He got that big money and he just kicked his feet up.
Yeah, I mean, they've really been carried by, what's his name? Chris Drager?
Drager?
Yeah.
So
But yeah, I mean, Florida, all you really have to worry about is, I think you take one. You guys played them pretty well besides, one game this season?
Yeah.
Where it kind of got out of hand. They have a high-powered offense, that's for sure. But, if you shut them down and you play a smart game, I think you guys could easily take one because, their goaltending is not great.
And aside from Ekblad, their defense isn't phenomenal.
No. So for me, I think just like tonight's game against the Blackhawks, I think it's going to be close again. I think it's going to be a lower scoring with 2-1.
Oh.
Being the Wings fan, I think we take this one just because I can't, say
you got
that.
to.
And with Florida, like you said, Jordan, I think we take at least one. If not, I don't think we take both. But I'm not willing to bet 3 points on it. So I think we're going to take one and lose one in regulation.
So that's going to be it for the schedules for this upcoming week. Unfortunately, we don't have fan mail because life happens, and we're just going to leave it at that. Life happens.
We got the POTW, though.
Player of the week.
We still do have player of the week. We started with the Hawks this episode. Tim and Nick, who are your guys' players of the week? I have this weird feeling I have an idea.
I think I do too.
I swear to God, if we have the same one again.
We might.
I'll let you go first.
Oh man. Okay. I'm gonna go with Brandon Hagel.
Oh, okay. No, we don't. We're not on the same one.
You know what? This week was all about the rookies for me, with the way Bodin was playing, the way Mitchell played. They got their goals. Hagel to me is just, especially this week, you're seeing his name. You're seeing him everywhere. He is engaged in everything when he's on the ice. Obviously, you could go with Patrick and you could go with anybody. Brandon Hagel is embodying Hawks, this new brand of Hawks hockey right now. And he's had a phenomenal week. And I just want to make sure he gets his shout out.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. I mean, we already given him all the tummy sticks in the world, but he does. He does deserve, a player of the week honors eventually. And I'm glad, it was going to be him if Nick Bodin, who is going to be my player of the week. Didn't have the week that he did. He had 2 goals and an assist this week. Because he wasn't on the score sheet tonight. So he had 2 goals, 1 assist in 3 games. We really seen kind of the coming out party. He got promoted to power play 1. He had a goal against Columbus and then another goal against Columbus 2 straight nights. So, yeah, I mean, I'm just stoked with him. You know, he's again, like I said earlier, he's what we kind of wanted Boquist to be. He's really taking charge of that power play. He's looking confident. He's making the smart plays. He's playing over 20 minutes a night now. And we've seen him last week in overtime, like quite a bit.
Yeah.
So I'm excited for Nick Beaudin. I think, you know, he's just making those strides. He's really doing it all. He doesn't look lost in his own zone. He's just making smart, quick passes, quick outlets. And yeah, he's got to be my player of the week. He's 3 points in 3 games from the young kid at D. Take it.
Okay.
There's one thing I do want to touch on real quick. Like, I want to see Ian Mitchell on the power play.
Yeah. I could get down with that.
Yeah. Sorry. I just want to get that in there.
Just get it in. Get it in, man.
Get it in.
All right.
Yeah. What about you guys?
Jordan, why don't you go first? I want to hear yours.
I'm gonna go with Robbie Fabry. Fresh back in the lineup, you know, hasn't really missed a beat. Had an excellent chance tonight against Chicago. He's the middle six or the top 6 player that Detroit has really been missing to help drive the second line. You know, you've got the top line with Larkin, Zadina, and whoever they play with them, who you know it's basically dangerous at all times. Robbie Fabry he's the player that's helping Detroit's top 6 actually be dangerous, whether it's the chance tonight, his goal, or the assists that he had this week. He's taking on a bigger role for this team, and he's making it so that Detroit has 2 scoring lines. He's playing center. He's adjusting well. Admittedly, tonight he took that really bad penalty, but it's going to happen. You're making that transition to full-time center position.
Yep.
And players make that mistake from time to time.
Mm-hmm.
But overall, I don't think Robbie Fabry was the reason we lost any of these games this week. And I've really liked what we've seen out of him. He's making that second line dangerous.
100%.
Fabry was going to be my choice, but I don't want to.
We've been piggybacking a lot lately.
Yeah.
So I want to go with someone that you probably wouldn't expect, and it's someone we've been shitting on a lot lately, and it's Anthony Mantha.
Okay.
He's not the player he was last year, but I can see that he's actually putting in some more effort, and he's trying, and I want to reward him for that. And I mean, his goal against Nashville was a gosh darn rocket. That thing was a beaut to watch. And that's the Mantha we know and we love. And I think he's not there yet, but he's like, you know, at that middle point in the movie where he's getting his groove back. And I'm hoping that this movie is a happy ending, like a Return of the Jedi, where, you know, the Ewoks are chanting Yub Nub when he, you know, celebrating, and not Empire Strikes Back where Patrick King cuts his hand off and he's all screaming and crying and falling down a shaft, you know. But I want to reward him because I think he's, you know, trying to turn that corner. He hasn't turned it yet, but you can see he's starting to put the effort in.
Yeah, I want to comment on both yours real quick. As for David's first, based off our last series, Mantha looked alive out there. Like you know, really, you didn't really see him be lazy like he was against us before. And then quickly on Jordan's, I don't know if you guys were probably watching the Detroit broadcast, but Eddie Olczyk completely shit on Robbie Fabry. I had to make sure I heard it right with Tim.
I didn't see it. I had the Red Wings announcers on.
Holy hell.
But you guys were texting about it. I'm like, wait, who? What?
It was, oh man, it was savage.
Yeah, I thought they were talking about Mantha because they're on the same line tonight. And he's like, I just heard like something about the effort, and he's like, this guy scored 3 goals in 3 games. I'm like,
it makes you wonder how he scored 3 goals in the last couple games.
I guess Fabry's work ethic isn't there, according to Eddie Olczyk.
I think there was one play that he just
next game.
He gave up on.
Yeah.
I hope he drops a hat trick and Eddie Olczyk just has to like talk about it next game.
He would too, is the thing. Eddie, he'd be like, oh, I guess he heard me.
Yeah, oh no, Eddie O would eat his words. Like I just thought it was funny because like I knew you kind of got to go the Fabry route just because he had 4 points in 4 games, which is a good week.
That's phenomenal.
Yep.
Yeah, and like I just thought it was funny because I'm like I had to reassure. Like my stream cut out for like a quick second. Were they talking about Mantha or Fabry?
Did he just roast him hard?
Like, there was a hard roast.
It was out of
like-
left field. It was brutal.
Like out of nowhere, and they were like giggling about it. But yeah, I had to get a good laugh out of that one.
That is pretty funny because again, he had 3 goals in 3 games. Like,
Yeah.
He did, Eddie. Sorry.
and then he had a dangerous chance tonight, which could have been a goal if he hadn't had a weird bounce with the puck.
Yeah. Man. Well, shit, boys. Fuck you, Ottawa. Before we get in there.
Why are you mad at them? It's Toronto that blew the lead for you, man.
Okay, but we were railing on Ottawa the last 3 weeks about not winning a game or not being good.
I will
It hurts
always
you.
say it is less about the team they're playing against and much more about Toronto and the way that they just fall apart. I don't know. That team frustrates me so much.
Yeah, it'd been nice to win some money tonight with
They choke harder than Team Iceland and Mighty Ducks too. That's all I'm saying.
It's just frustrating. Every time I'm close to winning money, they just rip it out.
You're rich
After
in
this
friendship.
show, I'm gonna send you guys a video over Messenger that you guys need to watch. It is like this fantastic 30, I think it's like 30 or 40-minute video, and it just follows the Leafs of like 50 years of failure. It's
Of pain, just straight pain.
it's fantastic.
I
It is
like it
fantastic.
rough. Yeah, I know we kind of hinted at it really quick before you wrap us up, Jordan. Expect a bunch, not a bunch, but whenever 2 of us get the chance, we're gonna try to go live on either Facebook or Instagram or Twitter, whatever we can do. We're gonna really try to break down after an intermission, go deep into a specific period of hockey.
Really?
We're gonna try, like we said, Jordan's got the whole what was it called? Stick blade playbook. Yeah,
Stick blade playbook.
Yeah.
Also, what was the other one I said? Stick blade. Was it rewind?
Yeah, rewind.
Yeah.
We got the rewind. We got live watches. We're gonna try to get more stuff out there.
Got a lot of content coming your way.
We're gonna go deeper than Tim does in the amount of drinks he has during a show.
I'm hammered.
He had, I saw the
mean,
tea.
that
I
makes two
saw
of
the
us.
tea. I saw the root beer. I'm guessing is what that was.
A
There
little
was a
cherry
bottle of
bubbly.
wine. There was a bottle of water. Like the guy, I don't know how your bladder doesn't hate you.
Oh,
Yeah.
it does.
So yeah, expect a lot more out of us. Maybe not just once a week anymore. We'll go live on Instagram, whether it's through the Stick Blade podcast personal account or one of our accounts. You could catch us on there.
Mm-hmm.
So stay tuned.
Yeah, stay tuned. New kinds of content is coming through the pipeline. It takes time.
Watch
Takes
out
time.
for that knuckle
We're
puck.
figuring out. We're still dumb at heart, guys. Like we're not
Yeah.
that smart.
We're doing our best.
Nobody
Yeah.
here
Yeah, knuckle
graduated
puck,
with a
baby.
degree in media relations.
Yo, just give us some time. We'll figure it out.
But I think that's a good note to end the show on. So that's pretty much it for the episode. There's nothing else really to talk about. So with that being said, we'd like to thank you guys all for tuning into this episode of the Stick Blade podcast. At the end of the day, this is a podcast that's by fans, it's for fans. There is no sort of like corporate sponsorship. There's nobody telling us what we can and cannot say. It's just a bunch of guys getting around to having fun talking hockey and talking these teams that we enjoy. And we appreciate you guys tuning in and enjoying it with us. If you want to get in touch with get in touch with the podcast and give us any sort of like feedback or questions that you want us to answer, discussion topics, whatever it is, there are plenty of avenues for you to get in contact with us. There's Facebook, there's Twitter, there's YouTube, there is email. Any one of those is a pretty decent way to get in touch with us.
Yep.
The SoundCloud is soundcloud.com/stickbladepodcast. The Twitter is twitter.com, and the handle is @stickbladepod. You can get in touch with us on Facebook. Just type in the Stick Blade Podcast, will show up. You can find us on YouTube, same deal. Just type in the Stick Blade Podcast, will show up. Eventually, we're going to try to get some stuff on Instagram rolling. I mean, there are so many ways for you guys to get in contact with us. So whatever your means is, feel free to send us a message. We always enjoy having fan mail.
Yeah. You can't find us in Uber Eats though. I'm not making you nothing.
Mm-mm. But I mean, there's plenty of ways to get in touch with us. So whatever your social media platform is of choice, feel free to give us a like, a follow, share, whatever the social media currency is of choice on the platform. We love to have you guys listen and engage with us on the show. So please do it more often. But again, for your host, Jordan Linscott, and for my co-hosts, Tim Stompanato, David Barnhouse, and Nickel Page, this has been another edition of the Stick Blade Podcast. Everybody, you stay safe, take care of each other, take care of yourselves, and until we see you next time, you guys have a good week. let's go Hawks and let's go Wings.
You can also find Nick on myspace.com/Mitch Trubisky #1 fan.